is an unused bubbling sound. This sounds like either water being drained or water rising from the stage, believed to also have been used in the marble zone. And lastly is a sound clip that sounds like some sort of alarm. This is believed to have been initially used in the Scrap Brain or Sky-based zones. And lastly, for the Master System port, let's have a look at some of the graphics that were left unused or changed in the final version. First off, here are several minor graphics that were left out. These include random unused tile sprites, a spring, some sort of door, as well as an unused ground segment. Additionally, there are these unused labyrinth pillars which don't even have an equivalent in the Genesis version, as well as an unused animation for Neutron, found in the game's Green Hill tile set. There also appears to be an enemy that was scrapped from the final game. This Bat Brain enemy does appear in the Genesis version of the game, and although it can be found in the 8-bit ports files among other Green Hill Zone objects, it is never actually seen. Okay, time to move on to the original Sonic the Hedgehog version that most people know on the Sega Genesis. Keeping on the same topic as before, now we'll explore some unused sprites in this version. First up, let's have a look at some scrapped Sonic sprites. First is a sprite of Sonic gulping for air, as well as an animation of Sonic holding his breath. The latter was likely intended to be used when Sonic was about to drown. Next up are some unused sprites of Sonic jumping seen in early development screenshots. This was intended to be used as an animation for Sonic after completing a level. Now to me it kind of sort of looks like how Mario jumps, so that might have had something to do with why it was removed initially. But interestingly enough, a slightly altered version of this jump has made its way into Sonic Mania, with the same included purpose. Similarly, there's this scrapped sliding animation that was cut from the original Sonic the Hedgehog, but it too has found its way into Sonic Mania. Next up are some cut spin dash looking sprites that appear elongated in a certain direction. Apparently there's a call for these sprites in the game's files, but they still go unused in the final game. Lastly, there are two unused death sprites for Sonic. The first unused death sprite is a gray burnt out sprite of Sonic that was likely going to be used when Sonic would die when touching lava in the marble zone. The second is a set of shrinking sprites that looks like Sonic falling. It is believed that this was going to be used in a sort of bird's eye view segment, maybe if Sonic was meant to fall from the sky or fall into a hole or something. Next, let's have a look at a few unused monitors in the game. I still don't know how busting open a computer monitor can give Sonic rings or a shield, but I guess that's just video game logic. Anyways, the first unused monitor is one with Robotnik's, or Eggman's face. Now, as some of you know, these do appear in later Sonic games, and they do hurt Sonic if opened, so their purpose in the first game would have likely been the same. Next is a monitor with a set of goggles. This unused power-up was likely going to give Sonic either more or unlimited time underwater, which would have been awesome because if there's one thing I hate about Sonic games, it's the underwater levels. Next is a monitor with static, which is believed to have been a sort of exception handler for a monitor containing invalid objects. Now these monitors can be placed in a level with debug mode, which we'll get to later, but if placed and broken, nothing really happens. And the last unused monitor is one with just an S on it. Although unused in the original game, this monitor does make an appearance in the 2013 remakes, in which it turns Sonic into Super Sonic. Next, there exists an unused sign meant to be in the Spring Yard Zone, which just reads, "Let's go." There is also an unused enemy in the Genesis version named Splats the Bunny, and seeing as how even after the release of the game, a trading card and a figurine of Splats were made, it is very likely that he was cut really close to the end of the game's development. There are several other more minor unused graphics not really worth mentioning, but I'll quickly just flash them on screen for you right here. They range from several unused tile sets to unused explosions and switches. In the game's files, an unused warping effect can also be found. When attempting to use it in the game, when Sonic runs into the warp area, he will disappear and a warp noise will play along with this effect, and then Sonic will reappear a few seconds later. It is believed to have been an early version of warping to the special stage, or simply just a way of testing it. Okay, now it's time to get to the fun stuff. There are actually 3 really short codes you can enter in on the title screen. For the first one, by pressing C 6 times, followed by up, down, left, right on the title screen, then after pressing start, while holding A, B, and C on the demo screen, instead of the Sonic Team logo, a secret list of the game's developers can be seen, written in Japanese. Next, a little bit more useful, if you enter up, down, left, right, then A plus start, you can then access the stage select menu, which lets you start at any area you want, even the special stage and final zone. And finally, the most rad code of this game, by entering up C, down C, left C, right C, and A and start, you can now enter debug mode. In this debug mode, you can move Sonic and